you know what I'm gonna do? Stupid. I like shining behind us.
Yeah, that's the spooky effect, right? Backlight. Trying to change the brightness down on the phone here.
There we go. How do I focus in a little bit more? Yeah, I'm grabbing another chair so I'm not like towering over you.
Oh, that's all right.
Huh?
That's all right. I'm okay. I don't mind.
Hey, we'll put them on
I
top
don't mind
you,
if you
bro.
don't mind.
We'll put them on top you. You're the guest tonight. They see me all the time.
Oh, make it happen.
Sandy, how's it? How's it?
Oh, we live.
Yeah, we live. Yeah.
We're rocking already, Keith.
Yeah. Give people a few minutes to jump in. I can't even read the chat though. Let me grab my tablet.
Yeah. They might think they're in the wrong place if they see me. You gotta put your face on there.
Nah.
Hey, I gotta start them off with you. At least that, Joe. Nah.
I still get the name stuff going on YouTube. Yeah, I'll move this a little closer.
No, move them more far so they can see you too.
Huh? Then I cannot read the chat.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Sandy, how's it? How's it? Sweet Savage, aloha. I have TikTok. I can read the YouTube, but the TikTok is too far. I need glasses. TikTok. Turn the volume all the way down. All right. So yes, we're here with our special guest tonight, Keith.
Aloha, everybody.
Is phone gonna work or what? No internet connection. I get the wrong tablet.
Oh no.
No, I get two tablets.
I usually do YouTube on my tablet. I don't have my tablet with me, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Let's see. TikTok.
We said, nice to see you, Keith. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. Hello, sweet
There
savage.
we go. There we go. Now we're on.
Hey,
Yeah, Keith does rhyme with Keith.
That's Sandy. Let me do this. Log out. Switch accounts. Go to this one and move it. Okay. Yeah, we're back on TikTok. We got banned on TikTok for showing a scary picture. Bro, so stupid. I see all kinds of stupid stuff on TikTok, and it's like, oh yeah, this is okay. But then I show a picture of somebody lying down, and it's like, nope, banned. There we go. So, home. There you go. I can watch my live now. There we go. Cool. Hey, Kyoho, how's it? I don't need to know this. It's
Hello, Sean.
there we go. All right. Okay, so guys, aloha. How's it? We're over here at Judd Trail because no better place to talk story than with the spirits around here. See if they have any 2 cents. Yeah, we're at Judd over here. Cheryl, how's it, everybody? Aloha. So yeah, we got Keith here. Keith is just very Akamai guy. He's come out a few times with us, and it's always a pleasure talking to him. This guy knows a lot. You know, like I can feel my brain hurting when I see him sometimes, because I learned so much that it just yeah. This guy knows a lot of stuff. He has a lot of experiences and a lot of just mana'o and stuff. And so yeah.
Man, my headlamp strap went broke. You keep this up. Sheesh. Well, what Joe isn't saying is that he's not sure if what I tell him is actually true or not.
But you have the confidence when you tell it to me, so I believe you.
Yeah, that's how, huh? It's the way it's delivered, huh?
Yep.
Was it you can fool some of the people all the time? All the people, some of the
Oh, not that's Cody Bob, huh?
That's right.
Oh, Bob Marley out here. You starting to get a child, huh?
So the subject we're doing is spirituality, science, and the paranormal. Right?
Something along those lines, or anything you guys want to talk about. I'm open. So.
Would you give us a little bit of your background, huh?
Okay. Well, I grew up here in Waipahu. I'm an old guy, born in the. Well, anyway, I won't talk about my age. But grew up here, spent the first 30-some years of my life on that side of the island, I guess, and then moved to the mainland. Was in Massachusetts for about 30 years. Well, I'm revealing my age, and then I moved back a few years back. So, yeah, I'm an old guy with experience both here and on the mainland. I'm an old IT guy. I used to design the computer systems for a living, and that's my kind of science technical background. But then I developed a strong interest in stuff that's spiritual when I was on the mainland, actually, more so than when I was here. And really started studying a lot of different things, a couple of healing modalities, including pranic healing. Did Akashic Records readings, stuff like that. Studied the Course in Miracles. I don't know, just a few different things. So, a lot of stuff. The old saying, "What Jack of all trades, master of none," that kind of applies here because I never went really super deep into any one thing. So I got a lot of pieces, and I can kind of see a lot of connections between the pieces. So I can talk about that, but that's sort of my background, the gist of it. My interest, by the way, in the paranormal was always there. You grew up in Hawaii, you cannot avoid, the Obake stories and whatever. So that's kind of always been there. But I think it became more stronger. The interest grew because when I moved back here, I realized that this place has such a strong paranormal, background. That fortunately, I found Joe on YouTube and Facebook or whatever, and it's been kind of good to connect with the community here. But that's kind of where I'm at.
Awesome. So you got a unique perspective then, being in the technological field and all of that. And how has that shaped like the whole technology aspect of it? Now that's a complicated one. I'm in it a little bit too, but not quite as deep as you. But how has that shaped your spirituality / paranormal experiences? What kind of how is it different seeing it from the lens that you see it from now, that you notice other people see it differently than you because you have that background and that experience?
I think the science side is, there's a hopefully healthy skepticism that comes with a science background. You kind of want to know whether this is really true. On the other hand, on the spiritual side, there's a level of trust that you have to have, because I think when you first approach things, we tend to be more closed down as individuals, emotionally and sometimes mentally, and the spiritual journey takes you to on a journey to open that up. So when you start in, it's kind of like you're wandering, and the evidence isn't clear. So you kind of have to have some level of trust, and to find that balance between the trust and the healthy skepticism is a challenge, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, what I'm finding, however, on the science side is that all the stuff that they're discovering in like quantum mechanics and stuff. They're saying that this physical world can't be the ultimate reality. That's I think what it's pointing to. And I recently read something that said that, well, yeah, even quantum mechanics itself is based on the physical fourth-dimensional space-time world. So it has its limitations. It can't take us beyond the physical. So it's kind of interesting that the science is actually telling us now that, yeah, that the physical world isn't real. It's somehow there's limits that indicate that it's a simulation of some sort. But is it a computer simulation, or are we like perhaps living in the mind of God as a simulation? That's
Those are based a lot on perception, and our perception is our reality, and that's what shapes everything, right?
Yep.
So I want to ask though, how does that correlate though? I mean, because you're talking about the science side, and we kind of know both those two. They don't really mix. You know what I mean? They don't see eye to eye. They have a different perspective. So how is science now turning over to that spiritual realm, or like what you're saying, that there's more than just this reality?
Well, I think I think the idea that they're in conflict is an old idea. That science and spirituality don't mix. In the old days, they would say that, the scientists would say, "Oh, I believe only in the physical."
Right.
It has to be hard evidence and whatever.
Right. That's kind of where I'm looking at. Where science, they need their hard evidence in order to prove their theory.
Well, that's the old science.
Oh,
New
so
science.
it's actually changing then.
Yeah,
Okay.
with quantum mechanics and stuff, what they're looking at is they're saying that the observer, the person doing the experiment, affects the results of the experiment.
That'll make sense. Yeah.
I know
yeah.
you heard
I
of
mean,
the two-slit experiment where they're shooting electrons at the screen.
right.
And depending on how you set up the experiment, the photons will act either as a wave or a particle. Now, don't ask me about the details because this mind doesn't want to remember. But that's how it works. And the thing is, that implies that our consciousness is affecting what we perceive, at least.
Yeah. I mean, that does make sense. I mean,
So there's more than just the physical. There's like this consciousness or energy or whatever you want to call it that affects how we experience the physical world, including the paranormal.
So with that being said, though, real quick question, just a yes or no. So do you think that scientists will actually come up with solid evidence of the paranormal or the spiritual side of things, knowing that they're taking that route now? Because they need to find their solid evidence. You know what I mean?
I think I think the answer is not in the near future, because they're not looking for evidence of the paranormal.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks.
If they were, I think they could probably find it. The thing is, we talk about like energy, like Reiki as being energy and whatever, but it's not the same kind of energy that we experience in 4D.
Can't measure it.
It's not physical. It's not electromagnetic radiation like electricity. So we use the same terms, but it's not the same stuff, which makes it kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the effects are there. But then again, the effects could be simply placebo as well.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you have any experiences or stories? I know you're also a healer as well, right? With a lot of that kind of knowledge. Do you have any stories of like that, perhaps?
Oh, you mean along the terms of effects of healing?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't really thought about that in a long time.
Have you? So you know a lot about healing. How have you practiced hands-on
I have.
with success or?
Um, I really haven't worked on like things like broken bones where there's like a physical effect and stuff like that that I can recall.
Gotcha.
I've worked more on the like
Spiritual kind of.
well, more emotional and mental aspects
okay.
where there's yeah, but again, you mentioned the placebo effect. That's part of it, I believe, because it maybe I shouldn't have said that, because when I say placebo effect,
Yeah,
uh,
it suggests.
it suggests that it's not real. But the thing is, our minds are so powerful that we create our own reality. So the results of the placebo effect may be totally real, even though it's an
Yeah,
effect of just
it can't be measured.
the mental, the mental
Yeah.
thing that we're doing in our minds. We're creating that effect uh, because
Yeah.
consciousness is created. Yeah, we're all like
Yeah.
little aspects of God. Is there?
That's the make this. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, but yeah, the consciousness is the outcome, and the consciousness is enough to affect anything, but you can't measure the consciousness, so it doesn't count.
Well, yeah, that's what some
You
people
know.
would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But real quick though, Keith. So Joe had asked then, and you said that you're into healing. What can you mind sharing with the crew? What type of methods you use? Healing methods?
Well, healing methods.
Yeah.
Well, there's there's different kinds of healing methods like Reiki and pranic healing are ways of actually you manipulate energy or consciousness directly. So like Reiki, you're channeling the Reiki energy through you. In pranic healing, you would do the same sort of deal, but you have a little bit more finer control over the energies.
I see. I see.
There's another. It's not really a healing modality, but there's a healing aspect to it called the Melchizedek method that I studied. That where you really work with like the fifth dimensional energies. In this case, what you do is you kind of set up this healing consciousness, and you say, "Go ahead and do your work." And the intelligence of the energy actually does the work, as opposed to the healer going in there and moving energy around in the patient.
So you manifest energy with a conscious for a purpose.
Yeah, in other words, yeah, you intentionally call in this energy that has
But
has
not
consciousness.
not entity.
It's not an entity.
No.
Yeah.
Huh. Fascinating.
And you can also call in entities, and they will work with you because there are healing angels and
Yeah.
other entities. And,
So it's basically the thought that popped into my head is it's kind of like an AI. You can create this consciousness with a purpose and let it go through its own methods to
right.
it's to the end.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ui asks, so more empathic healing. Oh, what's that?
What's it?
Ui says, so more empathic healing. He works or heals with emotions more than energy healing.
I wouldn't put it quite that way. At least not what I do. It's Uilani. It's just that I think because I've been attracted to work with people who have the same issues that I have, and my issues have been more emotional and mental than physical. And this is how it works with a lot of healers. You go on, you whether you actually hang a shingle or you just tell your friends, hey, I can do healing. The people that'll come to you generally will have the same kind of issues that you have in yourself. That's the creative part of the creative process, I think, is what most healers find. So it's they're a good reflection or a mirror as to what's happening in you if you're not aware. But that's why I say it's been more emotional and mental stuff that I've worked with in my with people I've worked with or worked on.
I found that you got to bring a lot of it, like the mental / emotional with the physical and the spiritual, all into balance kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
they all work together. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, a lot of the physical stuff that shows up in people, and some would say, not just some of it, that's all of it, actually has a mental or emotional basis, and sometimes spiritual basis also. And spiritual in the sense that if we disconnect from God or whatever, then that causes problems in our consciousness.
Okay, yeah. So it's like, for some people, the emotional aspect is what triggers the physical and all of that stuff. The emotional is a lot of the times the emotional is what weighs you down.
Yep.
Your physical body maybe it have ailments to it, but you can do perfectly fine and thrive with a partial physical body, like handicapped or whatever, but without the emotional mindset, you're not motivated to, right?
Right.
So the emotional is actually a really big anchor. And so what you do there is it very strongly affects people. I would say more so than the physical.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's my take. And what what's difficult for a lot of us to deal with is that a lot of times we're not consciously aware of what's going on. You know, we can look at our behavior like one of the things that I've noticed in myself recently, and I've been doing some work, is there's this thing that triggers anger in me quite consistently. And I haven't really been, it hasn't been an issue up to now when I started doing this work and I said, okay, I gotta, weed some of this stuff out. But I was not consciously aware that I had this energy in me and that it was a pattern. But when I stopped and looked at it, I was able to actually work with the part of me that was kind of like hiding and whatever. So,
That was the source of your anger?
Well, it had to do with like this childhood trauma and being pissed off at God.
Oh, okay, okay.
Life just seemed to be very unfair. It was like from where I stood, it appeared that God had just dumped on me. Now, from a spiritual perspective, there's an explanation for that, and that we come in with experiences from the past lives and bring in karma. So when this karma manifests and we're not aware of what happened in the past, life will seem unfair.
Yeah.
So I think this happens to a lot of us, and I had to ask the question. And the question is, well, is this unfairness like part of the karmic stuff that I'm experiencing, or is it just a built-in aspect of being a human? Yeah.
So, oh shit, sorry.
Oh,
How's it?
fuck it. They got me nervous.
Yeah, aloha, how's it?
Gotta go story, fucking story, man. Yeah. Have a good one, brothers.
Yeah, you're well known. The guy Hawaiian things.
So you say that you say karma and stuff like that too. I'm a fan of that. These lessons are like a way that our spirit lifts weights.
Yep.
It adds resistance, it adds strength, it builds character. These problems, these traumas that we go through, they actually are meant to heal us and they're meant to make us stronger in the long run.
Yep.
How does that fit into karma? Maybe that's kind of like your weak spot in a past thing. Well, and so that's going to be worked on later.
Well, karma. Yeah, exactly what you said. It's something that we've done in the past, and we're carrying this energy around that's unresolved, and it has nothing to do with like God trying to like hold us responsible for what we've done. It's ourselves. The energy is in us. We're aware if we do something that's not, let's say not in alignment with what we know is true. And what we know is true is that we're all one. So, if we hurt somebody else, we're actually hurting ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? So if we do something like this and we don't we're not aware either consciously that we're doing this, or for some reason, we just do it anyway. We know it's wrong, but we still do it.
Yeah.
Then we carry that energy in us, and that energy has creative power also. So that's what creates the, karmic backlash. It's just an energetic thing. It's not somebody holding like a karmic, checkbook and saying, you owe me this.
Here's kind of another aspect that I think, I don't know if you know about or that you may kind of consider for this situation, like you say, your past life.
Yeah.
Not only, actually, we're built on genetic codes. So I was watching this thing to study, and they had, did this test with rats.
Uh-huh.
They put the mice in the cage, they put this shock collar on the rats.
Yep.
And every time the rat, they would put a block of cheese in the cage. And every time the rat would smell the cheese, it would get shocked. And so it did that for a while. And then they took the collar off.
Yep. Yep.
And every time the rat smelled the cheese, he would actually start convulsing like he was getting shocked. Well, this transitioned actually into the rat's kids and the rat's kids after that.
Right.
So the grandparents. So it's like a genetic
Yep,
coding
yep.
based off our parents. So it might not just be what we did in our past lives. We may have like certain fears or this warning signal that triggers because of something that happened with our parents or our parents before them. You know, so that's something to also consider too, where now you have a bigger avenue or perspective to look into different angles or to different variables of what may be causing, you know, whatever issues you have.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's not just past life too. This is something that I just kind of learned recently. You know anything about that, Keith, or
What was-
anything?
my take on that, and I have thought about this a little bit, and not really deeply, but is that, you know, we choose our parents in a sense.
Oh, okay.
So we were choosing the genetic material also that we're born with, in a sense.
I never thought about that. I think that's a different perspective.
So
Thank
there's
you.
from what I've read, before we incarnate, we go and we check in with these really high spirits, and they like tell us, okay, this is the kind of lessons that you are available for you, and what would be the ideal circumstances for you to learn them. And when we say ideal, sometimes it's really painful stuff, but you know, it's all ultimately for our good. And that is why they say, you know, that there's actually a perfection in all this stuff, even though there's like this evil and all that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, that genetics thing may be a result of us selecting our parents because we know that, you know, we need to learn that particular.
So
thing.
actually, it doesn't really even come to play then, basically. I mean, if
Well,
you were to go to your view, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Well, that's a case where the consciousness gets directly involved in what we manifest as our experience, which in this case is our parents.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
thought that far or had a broad mind enough to think like that. I was just thinking, you know, come from the parents and that's that, yeah. A good thing. Oh,
Of course, I might be totally wrong. I'm at.
How I've seen it. So you heard of star seeds?
Starseed, yeah.
Yes. So, I know, but star seeds are kind of out there a little bit, but I give a little more credit. I give a little bit more credit to star seeds because supposedly the idea. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the idea of star seeds, as I understand it, please correct me if I'm wrong, is that you are a soul that has traveled to many different systems before you landed here in this one. And you have experiences from many different systems in different star clusters and all of that kind of stuff. I have memories of one of them, and this was triggered by one of the girls in the group home that I worked at. She came up to me, she was my age, and she asked me if I ever had dreams of this place. And I'm like, okay, explain. She's like, it's blue. I'm like, she's like, there's water everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, but the sky is black. She's like, yeah, and the mountains are kind of purple in the background. She's like, exactly, but it's really warm. It's like 75 degrees, really warm and humid. The star is white, and it's a dying star. And so it doesn't give off a lot of light. She's like, yeah, that's the one with the big tree with all the lights in the middle. And I'm like, yeah, and the tiger. She's like, yeah, the white tiger. I'm like, with the blue collar. Yeah, she's like, yeah, that one with the sapphire. And I'm like, we both remembered this place exactly. I've looked up pictures of them online, and I've actually seen there's been other people, and they believe that this is an actual different star system. In a place with the sun is a white dwarf that's dying. And so, but that's why I believe that it's possible my soul had been from there too. So that's kind of the starseed thing. How I've kind of seen it was like, so I'm a starseed. Many of us are starseeds traveling into different, not universes, but galaxies, etc., etc. But like what you guys were saying, and kind of a long way around, is when I came to Earth, I chose to have this blood and I chose to have this family. And so there's a difference to me between genetic DNA and genetic cellular DNA memory and more of a spiritual DNA. And so, like, for me, I chose to be Hawaiian. I chose to come from this bloodline because these are the tools that I needed to accomplish what I'm here to accomplish, the tools that are present in this bloodline, and etc. And that kind of stuff. So, I just wanted to share that because that's kind of what you guys, you and Matt were talking about, that kind of triggered it in me that there are two different kind of DNAs. I have memories that are triggered in me, like when I went Big Island in Hawaii, I started remembering Hawaii, although I've never been there before.
Yep.
So that's more of a cellular DNA memory that my blood that carries the same memories had triggered, but then there's more to it as well.
Okay. Well, and then let me start by saying that when we start to say that it's this one thing, in other words, well, the word I'm looking for is label. We start to label things that, like you said, that something's a cellular. I'm sorry, I don't quite remember the
like
exact
cellular
word.
DNA,
Cellular
blood
DNA,
DNA,
blood DNA, and stuff like that. And I believe that that's true, but there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of times we think that things are either this way or that way, but really it's depending on which angle you look at it from, which perspective you take, where, actually both things may be true. So I'm saying, be careful about trying to say that this thing is this versus this thing is that.
Gotcha.
Because it may be both.
Basically,
Maybe
not
a little
everything
bit
black and white.
Yeah, it's not black and white.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gray.
Gotcha.
And
and it's not always the same.
the thing about the star season, whatever, is I believe that we've all been through. We're not all of our past lives have been on this earth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a much simpler way of saying it.
We've pre-existed in, well, let's say that the earth is not the first place we incarnate.
Yeah.
Right? Or it's not the first place that we've ever had conscious experience. We weren't born as earth beings.
Yeah.
We weren't created as earth beings. So,
I guess,
and I think that the different places in the universe have different levels of what I call densities. We talk about dimensions like third dimension, fourth dimension, but there's also this concept of densities where the higher dimensions are like finer, they're more, they're lighter, they're less physical. Like the physical is kind of intermediate density. But there are even more dense states that's more darker, where consciousness moves a lot slower than we do. And some of us have been into these darker spaces. So, I think we've been in other places, and whether or not the memories that we have of these places are from past lives there or whatever, it's hard.
It's hard to say.
But when you have what you just described, I'd say, man, I'd say that works for me. The fact that you and this woman were having this conversation and all of this stuff was like fitting in.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong evidence that there's something there that's not just, made up in the mind.
Yeah.
Because so for me, I've never had an experience like that. So at this moment, I'm kind of having a hard time grasping the concept of me choosing my parents, you know what I mean, or my bloodline and all that. Where I can see where Joe's coming from, because he's already had this experience. You know what I mean? And I'm just kind of wondering how many people are out there that are actually aware to this knowledge. Where do you find this, or how do you come about this?
I got away. I'll show this to you guys after. I have a starseed chart.
Oh, but I got an app for this now.
No.
No?
It's based off of kind of like astrology, where
okay.
the time you were born,
Time, date,
the
everything,
date, the place, where all the stars were in
lined
blah
up.
blah blah houses and degrees and all of that.
Oh,
Real, Yeah.
That'll tell you, really.
That'll tell you. That'll
Or
tell you
give
a
you an
lot of
idea?
where you've been and what you've been, kind of thing.
Wow.
Kind
I
of like
didn't know that.
this picture here. Yeah, exactly like this.
Oh.
You know, I mean, I figure if I've been there, there's been a bunch of other people that have been there.
Right.
And if
Which
there are a
does
bunch
make
of other
sense.
people have been there, then yeah, like this is exactly it. Kind of funny that these things keep popping up. See, like that. Like the blue and black
like
with the white
colors.
tiger. See? Yeah, there you go.
That's an awesome picture, though. Remember you showing me that picture?
Yeah.
That picture's badass.
That kind of thing. And there's a bunch of them out there too. But like, yeah, I'll show you guys my starseed. I mean, you know, it's on my phone. This one here, so I'll show after. But it describes everything about me and my journey that I've been here through, my strengths, my weaknesses. It like pretty much is like a guideline for who I am. It's strange.
It is.
Yeah, there's a few ladies that actually did. The one I had was in Louisiana that did the starseed chart. And she was cool. Yeah. But yeah, so you're talking about like higher vibrations and stuff like that, and a little thought crossed my mind. Yeah, there are different dimensions. A lot of dimensions are higher vibration and that kind of stuff, which makes perfect sense. Higher vibration planes, do you think would have higher vibration emotions?
Higher vibration.
Emotions. Or do you think the lower vibration emotions like fear and anger and that kind of stuff, do you think they would be quite so present in a higher vibration dimension? We're going into metaphysics now, Bob.
Yeah. I'm trying to formulate a concise answer. See, emotions is an interesting word because there's a difference between feelings and emotions, and I think we got to talk about that because
Yeah.
like you can say that love is a feeling in a sense. It's an experience, but it's more of a feeling than an emotion.
Yeah.
Whereas fear is definitely an emotion, along with like anger and other stuff. So the emotions are a lot more. What is that the word I'm looking for? They're a lot more prevalent in environments where there is this concept of separation and duality.
Gotcha.
Like in the
That's
fifth
more present.
dimension, where we start to
Yeah.
move to unitive consciousness, and there's more awareness of the oneness of everything.
More like, I guess another word in our dimension would be like a hive mentality, where it's like you have access to everyone's emotions and kind of thing on higher vibrations.
Well, you have more access in the higher dimensions to the truth. I guess is what I'll say.
Gotcha.
And the truth is that we're divine. We're not vulnerable. So there's nothing to fear. For example,
Gotcha.
there's nothing to fear.
But down
Fear's an illusion. But,
Yes.
But here in the 4D, in space-time,
yeah.
we have fear because there's a separation. Like, even though you and I are one, Joe, in this environment, we cannot be one because there's this physical thing. Right?
Yeah.
We can't occupy the same space.
Yeah. Because
And-
everything is limited by the space.
And it's that separation that creates fear because we are separate from each other, we're separate from God and stuff. So
do you think there's a lower vibration than this?
yeah. That's what I've heard. And I'm not sure if there's there's less dimensions, but it's definitely denser. There's what dimension does a rock exist? They say that some rocks have consciousness, but is it? Are they?
How would it?
Yeah.
How would it show its consciousness?
Yeah.
How would it enjoy its consciousness?
Yeah,
It doesn't have senses.
I'm not sure if that's a good example. But
No, yeah. No, that's a
You
good.
think about it, we got stories here in Hawaii that
Right.
rocks have,
Right.
Yeah,
souls
but
and
then-
stuff like that. So, I mean, I can see that there should be some kind of answer to this.
If a rock's a spirit, then it would be actually a higher consciousness than us. But if the rock is a rock, or if it's a lower spirit in the rock, it may be limited to not all five senses, or not maybe no senses at all. You know, yeah, there was this anime I saw. I forget what it's called, but it starts off with the orb, and then the orb touches a rock and becomes a rock, and it lays as the rock for centuries, and then a dog comes up and dies next to it, and it becomes a dog.
Oh, interesting.
And
Wow.
then the dog's owner dies, and becomes the owner, and it's kind of like immortal, but they have all of these different consciousness where he's now a person walking around with absolutely no knowledge, no intelligence, no experience, nothing at all. And he has to learn to eat, and he dies repeatedly and repeatedly before he learns that he has to eat food to survive, kind of thing. So that was kind of an interesting example
Yeah.
for the consciousness of the rock. And then then he can turn back into the rock, but then he can't come back out because as a rock there's no consciousness, and there's no effort, and there's no, oh, I want to turn into a dog now. No, you're a rock. You can't think that. So I see that's maybe a good example of, yeah.
So he can progress, but if he regresses, he no longer can progress again. Is that, or he doesn't take what he's like? So he progressed, then he regresses, but he doesn't take those memories from progressing back with him when he goes and regresses. Like
No,
back
no,
to
no.
the rock. No, he
No.
loses all of that.
He, as a rock, the rock doesn't have the capacity for memories.
Okay, to hold everything
Yeah.
that he already learned. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha,
And the rock
okay.
can't move, and the rock
Right,
can't,
right.
you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Okay. That's
There's the bad guys in the movie that take away the people that he had pulled out, that he became, and it takes away them, assumes their form, and he can no longer turn back into them because he forgot them, And so they took everything, and then he turned into a rock again, and he had to wait until somebody else came by. And
and then actually they had to pass away for him to take over them, or
well, they had
he
to
could
kill.
just kind of,
I think they killed the bad guy, and then he regained consciousness because they all came back.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's wow. I mean that's kind of
Bro,
it's
it's
almost just like life, yeah.
I'll
What
show
we're
you that.
talking
I'll show
about,
you the show, dude. It's a trip.
Wow,
The whole thing is a trip, dude.
that's crazy.
I saw him on
Interesting.
YouTube Shorts before, and I'm like, oh,
Oh
what
yeah,
is this? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this kind of, I love these talks, man. Learn so much, and it forces people to think, you know what I mean?
I hope so.
In a different way,
Forces me to think too.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's what we're here for, right? To learn from each other and grow.
Oh, yeah.
And so, just in this short time, I've learned something new already. A different perspective.
Yeah. But Doug would say that our reality, he told me, is one of the hardest realities because of our separate nature.
Yeah.
We are separated from the divine. We are separated from each other. And it can be very painful. It can be it can be just lonely because you're separate from everything.
Right.
And so many of the souls and spirits in the line and all of that stuff, like Troy had brought up too, the contracts and the line and that kind of thing, when you're as spirit waiting to be reborn into something, we don't choose this because it's so separate and it's painful.
And I think that's one of the main factors or aspects of living in a 4D space-time, is that separation is part of this experience. The fact that only one object can occupy a piece of space at a given time. So
Yeah.
that forces us to believe that we're separate just because of physicality.
Yeah.
I do have a ghost story that I could tell if you
Go
think-
ahead. Go ahead.
I mean,
That's
eventually
where
I was
we
going to
take
ask
this.
you.
Let's
You lived
relax
in
the brain a
Boston
little
for
bit.
30 years.
Well, actually, I have
You have paranormal stories from up there.
I have
Plus whatever you got going on here.
I have a very short story actually from back home in Waipahu where I grew up, and I'll tell you a little bit of detail. Now this is my parents bought this house that I grew up in and moved into it shortly before I was born, and this was like for those of you who are familiar with Waipahu, Paiva Street is one of the main streets in Waipahu. It comes down past the old rec center, the district park, and it crosses the highway towards the where the high school is, under the Pearl Harbor side of the highway. Well, we moved into that neighborhood on the Pearl Harbor side of the highway, and we were like one of the first families in that area. We lived on that same street that's called Awanui, but it's actually an extension of Paiva. And at the end of the road, and there were like one house, a street, and then two more houses, and then a cane field. And we lived right next to the cane field. But anyways, we were one of the first families in there. And the story is that one day my older sister, who was like 8 years older than I am, it was like at night, and she went and called my mom, and my sister Carol was saying, told my mom, Mom, can I go and play with the girl? And then I asked, the girl, which girl? My sister says, well, there's a girl in a white dress knocking on the front door. And there was nobody around in the neighborhood. So, that's the one kind of paranormal thing that I have of that particular house.
Yeah.
I also experienced the whole pressing ghost thing. What is that called? The Japanese word for it? Hanashi, yeah. I did have experiences of that growing up in that house when I was like a teenager. And it was kind of a strange place. I don't, I don't think it's like severely haunted or anything like that, but like anywhere else in these islands, strange things happen in the area. But that's my little paranormal story that I have.
All right.
Anything in you experienced anything while you were out in Boston? Considering that it's the East Coast and there's got a lot of history there.
There's a lot of history, but I never really went out, and because it was when I moved back here, and that I said, ooh, Obake stories.
Gotcha.
And then I when I was on the mainland, my younger sister introduced me to Glenn Grant, so I had a bunch of his books and stuff. So that was pretty cool. So
Oh yeah.
it's good to come back here and reconnect with that.
Yeah. Sorry, I completely tripped out. I was watching the live so I can keep up with the comments. And I guess it had skipped back to the beginning. And so I'm looking at that, I'm like, wait, Keith sitting here. Why is there a person standing over Keith adjusting a flashlight? And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, wait, there's nobody there. Matt's not moving.
You have no idea how many times that's happened to me, Joe. Every time he's out in Lafayette, I saw a guy walk past and I'm like, bro, who the hell is that? And then I look back on the video.
I'm looking at
me
this.
that walked past.
Yeah.
But YouTube be messing with us like that.
Yeah.
Watching YouTube, bro.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah? I was like, bro, Joe, what is it better? I walk. Wait, that's me. No, bro, I was sitting down when this happened. Like, no, this is crazy. Oh, wait. My phone started the live all over again.
It will snow in Michigan tonight. It is November. Michigan. That's pretty early.
Yeah. Michigan sounds fun.
Yeah, a lot of fluorescent rocks up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, Kate, how's it? Good to see ya. I was on Kate's podcast.
Oh,
a little while ago.
Cool.
She does a lot of the metaphysical stuff too. Kate Mindful Magic
I'm gonna
podcast.
have to look that up.
Yeah. Awesome. She's good friends with Marie.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So, switch gears if you want.
Sure. Where we're going?
We've touched upon metaphysical. Thinking maybe
Well, I do want to mention one thing is that
that.
I have worked with crystals and stuff for many years, and I'm actually started a small business selling crystals, and we're actually doing a gem and mineral show in Waikiki next weekend. So if you guys are around, it's at the Hyatt Waikiki. I'm going to post something on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
But it's a Saturday, Sunday at the Hyatt. It's a free admission, but there is there's validated parking at the Hyatt if if you dare go into their parking lot. So. But they do valet parking also. I think with a validation, it's $15 for valet parking.
Okay.
But you can park and like hang out in Waikiki and come see us at the show.
Yeah. That would be a great just to walk. That's good. That's good parking fee just to walk around.
Saturday, Sunday, yeah, you said.
Saturday and Sunday.
Next week.
Yeah.
What-
So
What the times?
till 7 on Saturday. I think 10 to 7 on Saturday and 9 to 5 on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
I'll create a post on Facebook and
I'll share it on TikTok and
shoot
YouTube
it
over here
out.
as well. What is your favorite crystal?
My favorite crystal. If I had to choose one, it would be like quartz in the various types. Like I really like amethyst. Since I'm here, I always carry crystals for me.
Yeah, I know.
This is the crystal man right here, guys. You got questions? Ask now while he's
Oh
here.
yeah. Let me know when you need to turn off the light.
Like this is an amethyst celestial.
I don't know if that's gonna help. No, maybe a little bit.
You see this? Let's try this out.
That's not gonna work. There you go.
It's called a Shangaan amethyst. It's from Zimbabwe.
Oh wow.
Really powerful. And so amethyst is the purple is a higher vibration color, but quartz also comes in other colors like this is a citrine from the Congo.
That makes, I never even thought of it like that before. The colors are the vibrations too, yeah?
Yeah, the colors affect the vibrations. They affect which chakras they work with. And since we were showing off crystals, I'll show you this guy here. This one I showed to Joe and Matt earlier. This does not look very impressive right now, but take a look at the color. Right, it's not. Well, now this is a ultraviolet light.
There we go.
Can you see that?
Joy.
Yeah, I'll shine that light thing.
Yeah, don't shine it in our eyes though.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Can you see that? The red orange color is calcite. The green is called willemite. This is from Franklin, New Jersey. There's two zinc mines. This came from the Sterling Hill mine, which is supposedly haunted. Again, that's Sterling Hill mine in New Jersey. If you look on YouTube, you can find videos of Jason Hawes from Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters. They actually did an investigation here, and other people have also done that too. So if you go on YouTube and search for Sterling Hill Mine, you'll find some videos of this place. But yeah, fluorescent minerals are pretty cool. I also sell both minerals, fluorescent minerals, and lights.
Side.
But what's kind of interesting is, I just recently, in the past couple of years, I've formed this interest in fluorescent minerals. And for those of you who work with crystals, does anybody work with crystals? But
Yeah, a bunch of people do.
But anyway,
Lee does, I believe.
yeah, the way that fluorescent minerals work is that they absorb the ultraviolet light, which is higher energy, higher vibration light, which is not visible. They absorb it. The electrons then, they get excited. When they get de-excited and release the energy, they release that at this constant frequency. The green, for example, is it's all green, one frequency of light. The red you saw is another frequency.
This is related to rainbow.
Not quite, because the rainbow, it's reflecting, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
light
yeah.
is actually being absorbed, and then the molecules are emitting light.
Gotcha.
So it's almost like a
gotcha.
light bulb in a sense. It's a light source.
So like, okay, on the same scale as like a rainbow would be the vibrations kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Ultraviolet then would be on the top.
It's up on the high end. Yeah.
Oh, interesting, fascinating.
So what it's doing is it's taking this higher vibration energy, bringing it down to a frequency that we can perceive.
Okay.
So from a spiritual perspective, what does that mean? It means that there's potential for this to take in like fifth dimensional energy, bring it down and sort of like act as a translator for us. Now, I'm not sure that this is how this works, but you can try it out for yourself.
Troy says. Sorry.
I see it, dude. Crystals grow on inside rocks found on Oahu. There are crystals that have grown here. As a matter of fact, if you come to the show on Saturday, and you don't, even if you don't, some of the older club members have collected some incredible specimens from the Kapa Quarry. A few years back, the ownership allowed the club to go in there and collect some materials. They found quartz crystals and some calcite crystals that are pretty spectacular.
Ooh.
But the quarry does not allow us to go there anymore.
No, yeah.
And I've actually heard of other people who have found little quartz crystals. There are other things around the islands. I don't like to talk about it too much because people tend to go out and, I buy the thing that, this is Pele's Islands, right?
Yeah.
So be careful with whatever you collect.
Have you ever heard of the Yoperlite?
Euperlite, yeah.
Euperlite.
Yes, I do have.
That's awesome. Only found in the Great Lakes.
Yes, I actually bought a few pieces of euperlite last time I was in Massachusetts because it's really cool stuff. I don't have any with me yet, but it's a fluorescent sodalite. It fluoresces very bright orange. Orange, you call it? Yeah, orange yellow.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks, Kate. Yeah, Kate knows crystals, and a lot of people here know crystals. I know somewhat. I have it's a green one. It's a meteor. Came off a meteor. You know what I'm talking about?
Moldavite.
Moldavite. Thank you.
It's actually it's a glass that's formed. The meteor strikes. The glass is actually from Earth material, but it's the result of the heat.
The molten.
Heat from the meteor strike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not foreign material.
It's not foreign material.
It's terrestrial material.
Terrestrial material, but formed
okay.
as a result of the
Oh, interesting.
And there's a lot of they call that a
Calcite,
tektite, this meteorite glass, meteor. The word doesn't want to come out. But it's generally black when it's found across the world. Only in Czechoslovakia is there the beautiful green color. That's the one location, that one meteor strike.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The one I have is green.
Yeah. That's Moldova. The Moldova River, I think, is that source.
Interesting. We have this.
Oh, somebody wears one. Oh, that's Melody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben, how's it? Yeah, do not take stuff from Hawaii.
Yeah, Diamond Head, I think it was olivine, is what they
what it was?
said it was. I'm not sure if that's true, but there's other things that look kind of like diamond-like.
Yeah, I was
Like
just about
the
to ask that,
calcite,
and you brought it up in the comments because that's how Diamond Head was named, right? I guess the missionaries came and they saw that Diamond Head sparkling or whatever. So there is something up there then, crystals or whatnot, different type of.
So crystals, stupid question. Crystals are formed, right? They're not, for example, you cannot have the volcano, you know how there's different elements in the lava. It would have some of the flows would be iron heavy. You wouldn't have a pocket of quartz in a lava flow where all of a sudden it will dry off and you dig into it and then boom, it's just a whole bunch of quartz.
Well, quartz, I don't think you'll find quartz, but like olivine, right? You know, that's peridot. Is the same.
Okay.
It's, except the crystals we find here in Hawaii tend to be really small.
Okay.
In other volcanic areas, they grow big. So crystals do grow, come up with volcanic in magma, I guess.
Okay. Okay. So they
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
the
they
element, right?
can. And like diamonds come up. They call it kimberlite, but I think it's a volcanic flow. But they form underground in the case of diamonds, and then they're brought up in the flow. But I don't think all crystals. Yeah, some of them form more like in water. You know, where they're saturated with the silica
Okay. Okay.
that they form from, and
Okay,
then they
okay.
precipitate out. Like, you know, you ever grew like crystals with salt water?
No.
You put the salt water, you mix it up until you can't dissolve it anymore. You put a string in it,
Oh.
and as it dries, you find crystals growing on the
Yeah, I was
string.
gonna ask if
Yeah.
it takes salt water because
That-
I've known to see things like that. I don't know
Yeah,
anything really about crystals or minerals and all of that, but
that's how
I've
some
seen stuff
crystals.
like that, or like they have the
Right.
little science experiments where
Right.
you can kind of grow or create your own. Would that be the same thing?
Yeah,
Still?
well,
So what?
some crystals grow that way. Yeah,
crystals,
yeah.
they
Okay.
precipitate out of water. Yeah.
Kate's impressed.
What?
Impressed, you know what Euperlite is.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all.
Well, yeah, if you're into fluorescent minerals, yeah, you polite is a big deal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never heard of that before. Like just for the basic stuff now, I'm lazy. I don't know if I'm lazy or I just don't put a lot of importance into this per se. But like, hold on. What like so charging crystals are important, clearing crystals are important, that kind of stuff. More of the spiritual side to it,
Yeah.
right? What if you don't do that?
Well, what happens is, you know, the crystals or anything actually, like even if you wear like you wear a ring,
Yeah.
it'll pick up energy, right? And unfortunately, most of us have like negative energy in
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
and we run into people with negative energy. So it'll tend to pick up stuff. Crystals pick stuff up even more so. And if they collect, I've heard of crystals actually breaking when people don't clean up.
Have you heard of them changing colors?
Yeah.
So like a mood ring. I was just about to ask that.
Well,
Well,
so
like,
Is
sometimes
that,
they'll
is
just
that like a crystal? Like
Well,
a mood ring?
well,
Is that what
no.
you're talking about? Changing
No,
colors?
no,
not like that.
No. Like, a friend of mine on the Big Island, he had a pendulum, and him and his paranormal team had a pendulum. And there was a woman who was seemingly possessed, and the pendulum started, instead of spinning or going back and forth, jumping up and down. And then the pendulum turned black. It was
Yep.
clear, then it turned black, and they didn't. Then she left, and nobody heard from her. She cut ties with everybody, and she just wasn't herself. So
Right.
they can do that.
Well, apparently that's from I've never seen it myself.
I've
But
seen it.
I've heard of people saying that. Yeah.
I did have it that night over here, jump up and down. I was holding it like that, and that was actually when my sister came. It usually swings and does its thing, but this
Swings
time it started bouncing around and moving around, and I'm like, what the heck? And then I could feel my sister's energy because I was channeling that energy through my
Yeah.
body, and it was like my sister came over to, and I could feel just what she is now, which is just at a peace that I have never known. You know, it's just it was so amazing. I wish I had words for it, you know. But yeah, that's the only other time I've seen a pendulum like that act like that.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Okay. Another question I had to. Oh, so selenite is supposed to be good for communications and something like that. I remember it's like an angel stone, or that's what I've been told, that the selenite's used for communicating with your angels and blah 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 and that kind of stuff too.
So
What would selenite? What you're the expert. What is selenite good for? I know, like every crystal, when I read the description on Google, it's like, oh, it's used for communicating with blah 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 and this and that, and they have a very
Yeah,
similar list of
I
everything.
think if yeah, communication would be with higher vibration or
Yeah.
higher vibration beings, right? Like the more angelic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because selenite carries a real high vibration in itself. Supposedly, it's like one of the
Yeah.
highest vibrating common crystals.
Oop. There we go. So
There are other crystals that have really high vibrations, but they're rare. But selenite is like really common and inexpensive. Uh, but it's a great tool because it yeah, has a very high vibration, and it'll bring in stuff. And they say that you don't need to clean it, but I generally clean all my crystals.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
just
yeah.
for the heck of it. If I'm using them actively in like
So I had this idea a while ago. What do you think about this? I haven't figured out how to do it, but so I'm familiar with the Frank box. Frank box is the
Yep.
original spirit box that had the echo chamber, and it was used for spirit communication. And I used it with Doug, which was flawless.
You
on
mentioned
some
that
occasions.
he had three of them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean.
The actual Frank box, and they had numbers on them and everything. And so my thought is, would you be able to amplify a spirit box with a purposed crystal? What if you were to use crystals in science technology to use the properties of the crystal, and but that would change depending on what you purpose the crystal for, as well, right? Somebody with your brain would be able to purpose its intricacies and how it would work, and pretty much program it on different levels.
Well, you see, the thing is, we understand crystals because we use crystals in radios,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that's a physical vibration. That's EMF.
Yeah.
And so it's a physical, or it ends up in EMF. But again, we're talking about like prana and the Reiki energy being non-physical. So I guess this is where my thing. So how do we interface the non-physical with the physical? Would be my first kind of like, okay, we got to solve this guy here because
The concept of the echo chamber was what fascinated me with the spirit boxes.
I don't know how the boxes work. So that's why I'm kind of like
It goes into the little echo chamber, and then it comes. The echo chamber is a step in between the communication and the speaker, and that's where the spirits are added. What if you were to stick a it's that's kind of how I understood it from Doug. But what if you were to stick like a purposed crystal in that echo chamber and use that to filter it as well? But it wouldn't really filter the EMF, right? Or the frequencies of
I think what's kind of I'm getting it more like intuitively is that how that what might work is to find crystals or stones that would attract the spirits.
like
Yeah.
a haunted object, or
Well,
like
not haunted in the sense that. Yeah, what comes to mind is this: like they're building a Hindu temple. Well, they finished it recently. A Hindu temple in Hawaii at the monastery there. And what I heard is that they put like this gold leaf on some of the temple domes, and the idea is that spirits, for some reason, can easily see gold, not the color gold, but the gold, the metal, which is why they put this expensive stuff, and it has some sort of special property. So if some physical objects have the ability to sort of what's the word I'm
attract
looking
the spirits and catch their.
yeah, they're more like interdimensional, have an interdimensional effect. Is kind of what I'm thinking.
Gotcha.
And then maybe there are some crystals that could have the similar similar
Like a vibration kind of thing.
vibrational sort of yeah.
Like I had the lady, one of my friends would go out of body and travel to my house when I invited her to out of body, and she couldn't understand what this big black mass was in my front yard. That was a little pond. It was the water. The absence of any kind of energy. She couldn't out of body when she had no eyes and her perception. It appeared to be this large black mass. So perhaps out of body, gold would appear differently too. And We had to get a hold of this lady and have her like look at a whole bunch of crystals out of body for me and tell her which one she's. You know, science experiment.
That'd be interesting.
Kid, you ever heard of a rare crystal in Australia that's orange in the dark and goes, what did he say? Goes white in the sun. Did you know the name of that crystal? Or heard something? Aussie Tiger mentioned that. There's a rare crystal in Australia that does that.
Um, I don't know this particular crystal, but I do know that some crystals like change color when exposed to like UV light or certain types of light.
Okay.
Like Hackmanite is one of the crystals that turns like red. It's a form of sodalite, but no, I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, okay. Oh, if
Does it have the name of it?
Hold on. Bruh. Decline.
Was that a puzzle piece?
No, no, no,
Oh.
no. Somebody like jump on. And,
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know the.
The co-host.
Yeah. Hold on.
Is that AI or is that Al?
Al. I'm guessing. Let me
Spiritual
see.
protection
How
and
come I don't
energy.
see that?
That's,
I'm on TikTok. Spiritual protection and energy suggests. Oh yeah. That's AI. Sorry. It's hearing us talk, and so it's saying, "Oh, suggest more tips for spiritual protection and energy."
I would respond, but I wasn't sure how it would be talking
Yeah,
about
I'm
that.
like, cool. Aussie says he's forgotten the name of it. It's been a long time. I've seen black light change the color of crystals. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the kind of that's the kind of things I've been thinking of is to try and amplify paranormal equipment. I'm not really interested much in proving and disproving, but more in paranormal communication. And the theory of what was it, Thomas Edison's ghost phone?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're thinking more along the lines of using crystals to maybe more enhance the spirit box. Then.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we can communicate because I know that the spirit box works on a lower vibration. It works on our vibration, but if
Oh,
we
so-
could, and it works with spirits that are lower vibration, which would be spirits who haven't crossed over so much. But the higher vibrations are the ones who have crossed over. You know, it would be easier for them to
Okay.
communicate with something that's a little bit of a
That's
higher
different that we
vibration.
wouldn't normally communicate with.
Almost like a
Because it's using the
translator
crystal.
that could translate the higher vibration into our lower vibration. Right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Or even the other way too, because they might not be able to hear us the same way. You know what I mean? Where it could translate our lower vibration into a higher vibration where they could understand us.
Ah, understandable now. Gotcha. Yeah, I've never even gone down this road. This is a whole new element for me.
This what happens when you work night shift for 10 years.
I'm,
Bro.
a bugging. I'm in school all over again, guys. Thanks. This is not a topic I know
I've drawn
much about.
out. I've drawn out and I've experimented with blueprints and schematics and just theorized a lot. Sometimes I tried to like tie a wire in between the stuff, put the crystal on the antenna. You know what I mean? Of the spirit box. That kind of stuff. I found I'm more of a three-dimensional object than conductive than a crystal is, so I get better reception when I grab the antenna for the spirit box. Right? And then if I purpose it for something, it's almost like my trance is, I go into a trance and I purpose what I want to hear on the spirit box and who I want to talk to. But if we can get an inanimate object to do that, then again, is it the pendulum theory? Because the pendulum only works with you, with the person holding it. If I were to hang it on a branch, the pendulum doesn't have the energy and the focus to go by itself, right?
Yeah, well, one theory is that what's happening with the pendulum is actually we are moving it, not consciously,
Yeah.
but it's the body. The
It's
body
the energy.
knows the answers, so it produces what motion we would
It does.
interpret as.
Because I can ask any question that I know the answer to, and I can think of the wrong answer, and it will give me the wrong answer. But like the dowsing rods and stuff, I found really interestingly enough that they will find lost objects.
Oh yeah.
You know, you don't know where they are. I use them to find where wires cut at work. You know what I mean? We got this long run. My coworkers trip out. We got this long run over a building and a half, and I'm like, "Where's the wire cut?" Things start spinning or like pointing towards it. I'm like, "Oh, there's a box over there." And open up the box, boom, wires cut. Like, look, right over here. My coworkers are like, "Wow, we spent an hour trying to find this already." You know.
Yeah, they should pay you more for this
So
the skill that you have.
let me ask you the difference then. So like I played with your dowsing rods before, right, Joe?
Yeah.
And you're right. You can actually feel the energy when you pick up the dowsing rods. You can actually feel the energy in the handles. Like I felt that, but like I've touched crystals and stuff like that, or rocks and stuff, and I've never felt energy like that. So how does like
Copper.
for say the crystals and stuff gain its energy or vibrations and whatnot? Because like I said, the dowsing rod, I can feel it. I can feel
So-
the vibration and the energy.
You get this one.
So can you guys kind of explain the
I want
difference
to
to
hear.
me? I know both of you guys got an answer, so I want both you
So
guys'
the-
answers. Don't be passing it
So-
off on each other.
You want the wrong the wrong one or the right one?
Oh,
I'll
you're
take
right,
both
you're
and I'll
right.
figure it out
No, no,
eventually.
no,
Nah, nah, nah.
good Joe.
So the dowsing rod, you have copper.
Okay.
The copper
the
reflects
copper is
a lot of
the-
stuff and has
the,
different properties.
conductor.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
For the I was gonna ask you, how does the pendulum know where things are? But assuming the theory that you don't know where it is either, but the pendulum does. That's a guide using your energy and pointing. One of your spirit guides as well. That's using your physical energy. That's welcome to go ahead and intervene.
Well,
Perhaps.
yeah. Well, when you say that you don't know where it is, what's the you that you're referring to?
Oh man.
Because,
The
yeah.
me that's asking the question, not higher
Yeah,
self or anything like that. Then we're going into a different mess.
Yeah. So the theory, one theory is that we actually are connected to everything, so we know everything inside. If we stop and ask the question,
Have you-
and take the time to listen.
Have you talked to your higher self before?
Have I?
Yes.
Uh,
Have you met your higher self?
Yeah, I would say that I have.
I did a meditation practice with Dr. Castle Shinbrook. She's a good friend of mine. And a guided meditation practice where I talk to my higher self. And my higher self's a dick. I met my higher self and I'm asking him questions. And my higher self just looks at me and he's like, "You stupid or what? You already know the answer." And I freaking always do. And he laughs at me taunting, like, "Yeah, you dumbass," That's why I like my higher self's a dickhead.
Okay.
So I was like, you gotta make a shirt saying that.
I don't know if I've had quite the same experience, but
I'll ask my higher self, what path am I meant to be on? What choice do I need to make with this?
Yep,
What
yep,
choice
yep.
do I... And he just like, you already know the answer, idiot. My higher self is very sarcastic.
Mm. Well,
Have you
yeah.
experienced that before? Or maybe that wasn't my actual higher self.
But going back to your question about crystals and stuff, I will say that it took me a long time to actually be able to really clearly feel energy from crystals.
Crystals?
And even now, if I pick up a crystal, unless it's a really, really powerful crystal, I won't feel anything unless I stop and just calm down and then connect internally, because the mind makes so much noise that the chatter you got to learn to kind of quiet it and say shut up.
Turn everything off.
Yeah, because and the mind has its own ideas, right? About, hey, is this stuff real or is it not? It's doubting. It doesn't want it to be real, because the mind is like invested in the body. It's that's its home. So if this non-physical stuff is real, it's threatening in a sense, right? So
Yeah.
if you kind of consider that, the mind is something that we have to train for it to become an ally, because otherwise it'll
It'll run away from you, yeah? Or it can.
it'll try to keep you as human as possible. Let me put it that way.
Oh, I see.
In your physical body, you keep invested in the idea that this body is all that you have, all that you are.
Gotcha. So it's basically trying to make sense of basically whatever
Right,
it is that
yeah.
you're doing. Right. Gotcha. I guess for me, mine don't shut off. The thing just goes and goes and goes. Like, I can't even tell myself, shut up or like, just keep thinking at times.
And for most of us, it takes years before that chatter starts to slow down.
That's one of my favorite places to go to, is into just oblivion, where my mind is completely blank. I found that out. But that's usually the state I need to get into when I'm trying to figure something out, or when I want to channel something, or find an answer, or even use the pendulum. Is I have to empty your mind completely, yeah. Otherwise, it's going to give a false positive or a false negative, right? Let's see. Anybody have any questions for Keith?
For anybody.
Sean found out that the rock is Hackmanite. In the Australia one?
Yeah, that could be it. I think that's a form of sodalite, if I'm not mistaken. It's white and then turns red or pink, right, when it's exposed to UV. I think so. I might be wrong.
Yeah, Aussie's description was, I guess it's orange when it's in the dark, and then you put it out in the sun, it turns white.
What did you call it?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hackmanite?
Tenebrescence, I think, is the quality that, yeah. Tenebrescence. That's the quality that describes that, the color change with light.
That's cool. So I like the idea of crystals, and I'm still new to crystals. I don't have the time. I'm in ghosts. It's like people want to talk about aliens. I'm like, brah, I don't have time for that crap either.
So what is that crystal or mineral that's used in the pendulums? Is there different ones, or
Yeah,
is it the specific one that they use for pendulums?
they make them out of all kinds of stuff, even metal. In some
okay.
cases, they shape metal like brass and stuff, and yeah, it depends on, I guess, what you're kind of attracted to.
I've used a rosary as a pendulum.
Yeah.
On numerous occasions. When I don't have a pendulum with me, What would I've seen pendulums before when I was trying to order some, with all of these different properties, and then some of them were dual. Like, I got a pendulum that's quartz on the bottom, but then it has a layer on top that's like a container on the top of the quartz, full with emeralds.
Emeralds, huh?
What would the purpose of that be? Is that to channel different kind of energy, or?
When you mentioned emerald, that green was keeping in. It might be for healing, because green is a very healing color, and the emeralds are their form of beryl, like aquamarine and stuff, and it's a hard. Yeah, emeralds are very, very healing because of that green thing. And I would guess that pendulum was made for like healing, like extract energy.
That's why.
Energy, I think so.
That's the one that I picked. Right? I was in Houston when I went to go help my sister. God, Amazon is awesome over there. You order them, they deliver them the same day.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh,
Fuck, they on it up there, huh?
wow.
The delivery in the upper 48 is way better. Fucking guys.
I know. I ordered them. I'm like, okay, it should come in about 7 hours. What the heck?
Oh, yeah. You see Brad's comment. Brad said hi.
Hey,
Said
Brad.
He went from overkill to withdrawal. October's over, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, so one thing that I kind of was thinking about earlier this evening was having to do with the paranormal. Was the Mothman prophecies and the author John Keel.
Really?
Yeah, the reason I bring this up is that I guess if you read the Mothman Prophecies, the book that he wrote, it's more than just about the Mothman because he actually goes out then. They're doing like UFO investigations, and his theory is that like this paranormal stuff, UFOs, they're kind of related, and it's he believes that they're based on a single like what he calls phenomena. Um, the reason I kind of thought about this is that he has a word of caution. He says that people who start to investigate the paranormal and they're not careful about what they're doing, they kind of go into it lackadaisically. Oftentimes run into trouble. So I just want to mention this because I know some of you might be out there thinking, "Oh, let's go out and go something." And it's okay. I mean, I remember going as a teenager going out to Mililani Cemetery with and stuff like that. And that stuff is cool. But if you're gonna start, going to like these haunted places and doing the Zach Baggins thing and start to,
Look for
taunt
evidence
the
and
ghosts,
yeah.
taunt the ghosts and the spirits. Even if you don't believe that they're out there, you might find that they are real and have problems. So just be careful, and yeah, just know that there's stuff out there that you don't want to kind of mess around with.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's just my kind of take on this. Not that you want to be like overly afraid of it, but just have respect.
Yeah.
Respect, I think, is the proper.
That's the most common thing I hear from people is, why do you do this? I don't mess around with this kind of stuff. And how I see it is I'm not messing around.
Oh yeah.
I have a purpose. And there always has to be a purpose. And the purpose cannot just be, because I'm curious this way. You know what I mean? Would you ever use a Ouija board?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
Not even with for an important purpose or...
I think there's other ways to get answers, and it's just that the consciousness around the Ouija board, just the mass belief, is that it's a channel for lower vibration spirits, and whether that's true or not, the belief that it's true is enough to make it true.
Well put. Yeah. Just the whole mass consciousness
Right.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would not mess with a Ouija board.
Nope. Don't recommend that either. And it doesn't even have to be the real one. You can draw your own and make your own and, that kind of stuff. Even the app ones I've seen where they've affected people. They have an app that has a Ouija board now too. I messed with one earlier when I was younger. We made it everything, and it definitely had an effect on me later in life and whatnot. Not to the extent where I can tell you exactly what happened, but I know it took its toll at me.
Yeah, I saw a video kind of recently about the Ouija board and how it was like invented and stuff. I forget what the details were for some reason, which is kind of spooky in itself. But yeah, it has an interesting background of how it was created, and then there was like a patent or something. Yeah. But yeah, I would not. Yeah, I would not. How about you?
I cannot think of a good purpose that I would have to use them.
I think there's other ways of getting answers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a if there's a good purpose, but I can never think of a good purpose for using them. Like Doug was the closest person I ever had to a purpose. Had a good purpose. The Ouija board, you invite them to come into your body and to use your hands and stuff. And he wanted to use the Ouija board for his wife. To channel his wife through his flesh, in him, kind of thing. And to feel her presence and have her grab his hand and move his hand around. That was his intention behind it. He never really actually did it, but we talked about it. And he said if he ever did, that would be for the purpose that he would use it for.
I think with somebody like him who was very clear and aware of what was going on, that he might have been able to do it, without...
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, he's got that awareness and presence of mind.
And the protection
Yeah,
and the
protection.
experience and all of that stuff too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought when he brought that up to me, I kind of started to see it a little bit differently. Like it's a tool in the right hands, but in most hands it's dangerous. You know what I mean? So my perception shifted a little bit on that. But still, there's never a purpose. It's like saying it's a nuke.
Right.
When are you gonna ever have to use a nuke? You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I think in Doug's case, though, like from what you described Doug as, or the type of person Doug as, I think for him, if he was to use it, he wouldn't be fooled. Like, you know how when you use the Ouija board, you're not sure if the person that you're trying to contact is the one that you actually contacted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Where I think, yeah, Doug would probably be able to see who he's actually contacted and know. That's just kind of my assumption of how I would,
And
would kind of view it to where, you know, where he could actually make some good use out of it. But even with that, though, I don't know if that's proper still.
well, and he also, you know, has been in touch with his wife, right? Because
Yeah.
you shared that, you know,
Yeah.
they're in constant contact, so he would know her energy.
Yeah.
And
the
it
pendulum.
would be very specific that that it's her that he's contacting, not some
Yeah.
other.
Right.
You know,
So in the pendulum, that's how he knew her energy. Then there was a time I took him to Manoa Chinese Cemetery, and he stood in the portal and he cried because he could feel her around him.
Wow.
And that was one of his happiest experiences, he told me, where he could actually feel her standing next to him and around him. And so the Ouija board, that was on a different level as well. But yeah, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go anyway. I'm gonna go home anyway. I can wait. You know, he knew he was gonna pass. When he came to Hawaii, he's like, this is the last time, Joe. But I'll see you on the other side. You know.
That's gotta be something, though. I don't know if I would really want to know when my time is or how I'm gonna go. I think that'd be kind of a scary.
He didn't know when his time was, but he knew, like, with all the spirit work he did, his internal organs were failing. They were rotting from the inside, as he described it. Yeah. I'm not sure what the actual autopsy said, but you know what I mean. I'm not.
Right. But I mean,
Yeah.
just imagine. I believe there are people like that, you know, or that have seen. You know what I mean? When their time is and all of that. I think that would freak me out. I don't think I'd want to know.
Yeah.
well, the thing is with Doug, he had so much contact with the spirit world that you know, death was probably something totally different to him than for most of us. You know, 'cause, just that connection that he had.
There was actually I see like I watch different paranormal videos on online and stuff, and there's actually another guy that's online, and he deals with these orbs, but he's got a specific orb, and it's this pink orb that comes,
Oh, that's
and her name is
cool.
Stacy.
Wait, what?
Stacy. Her name is Stacy. That's how he and right, he videos and you see all these different orbs, but there's that one pink one that always shows up, and he knows exactly who that is. And every time you talk about Doug and his whole
Stacy.
stuff,
Yeah.
her name's Stacy.
Her name's Stacy. Yeah. I took a picture last time I went to.
Well, now I gotta go look. Like I don't know if I said Stacy just because I thought of Doug, but I swear that's the name the guy calls that orb.
Interesting.
And I don't know if it's Doug now. It's old videos, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
and he's got a bunch of them, and that pink orb always comes to him.
Stacy was more of a rainbow iridescent orb.
But like you could actually see it in the video too. Like that one orb was pink compared to all the other
Like
ones.
in the
was
video.
clear. Like it
Because
was.
Stacy wouldn't appear in videos. It was only camera.
See, well, yeah, it's not a live one. I'm watching a replay of the guy's video that he streamed, so I'm not sure if that's a difference or whatnot. But I gotta go find those again. Damn it.
When I went to the Kai on Big Island, at Mackenzie's, they drove by. I took a picture. Just a house. We were right outside Mackenzie's, and there's this sign right outside of a house. Welcome to Doug and Stacy's. And I'm like, I told Jello, I'm like, bro, you gotta turn around, bro. I gotta give him a picture of that.
cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. Hey, Cindy Bear, aloha. Wow, man, I'm so glad we got this kid tonight.
Yeah, I'm so you glad. I am overjoyed.
Wow,
Last time I'm sitting under the tent, I'm getting
Oh,
soaked,
yeah.
and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm under the tent. How come I'm getting wet?
oh yeah.
You know, the mind just couldn't adapt to the. I'm under this tent and I'm still getting wet.
Hey,
Yeah, that's
I would give you my umbrella too. Get pukas in them as well.
oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, I just got the umbrella trying to catch the side rain.
Remember,
You remember from last time? Yeah, that's why you can.
I always
Bruh.
got this stuff with me.
Yeah, the way I convinced myself, I'm only getting 50% of the rain that would be hitting me if I never had the tip. So still in win.
Oh, otherwise, we all would have been sitting in the car fogging up.
Yeah. For those of you who may be confused about this conversation, last time I saw Joe and Matt in Mililani,
Oh yeah,
it was raining, and Joe's tent, his other tent, is not quite waterproof.
That's the one I used all last year, October, like almost every night.
Well, we put that thing through use, man,
Wow.
last year.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in the tent, and I'm there thinking, how come I'm getting wet? I'm under this tent, not realizing that the tent is leaking. Took me about an hour to figure it out.
And they're even
Oh,
at
man.
pukas. It was just the
Yeah,
fabric.
it was. Yeah, there was no
The
holes.
fabric was junk.
Yeah, it was just getting older already, weathered.
Yeah.
Hey, we had good food though that night.
Oh, yeah.
Bruh. A lot of mace.
I'm glad
Oh,
I got
yeah.
to meet Mace that one time. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was yeah, good to
No,
connect
beef
with him.
luau.
Yeah.
Luau stew, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baka, oh,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Pico onion, poi. Oh, that's so awesome, man.
Oh yeah. I'm getting hungry now.
I know. That was trippy too, though. Before you came, Keith, bro, that night, we had the spirit box going, but it said all our names.
Yeah.
Like in a row, like Joe, Mace,
Oh, actually, I was
Stuart.
there.
Oh, you were
Yeah,
there?
I was there. Yeah, when that
Oh.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, bro. This is crazy. But we never get the same experience that Joe and got with Mace and Maria and Malia. They had an awesome experience. Yeah, that first night you went out Mililani to meet them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Mickey,
yeah.
Mickey
Yeah,
and
or
Maria.
Mickey and Maria,
Marie.
sorry.
Marie, yeah.
Mickey and Marie.
Yeah. That was cool. That was cool. The spirit box stopped the whole time when the story was being told, and it was still on the whole time, but never said a word.
Oh,
I'm like, hey, Mace, the spirit box on. Then the thing started talking again.
really interesting.
Yeah, but that's the one you guys said too. Had all kinds of spirits around you guys and all coming closer too, yeah?
Yeah.
So you guys have seen shadows
Oh,
in the
yeah.
distance and oh.
Oh yeah, and the lights were going on. I remember Dubu went back, go over there to look for the electrical wires and stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
to keep the
yeah,
lights
yeah,
off. Yeah. I'm like, that's cool. And I went back there too the next day because I was working over there, and I'm like, oh, let's look for this, you know. But yeah, it's so hard to wrap your head around some of these things because we're limited to three-dimensional. You know, it's like, how much of our brain is actually unlocked?
Not a lot. It's only like 2 or 3%, I believe.
So
They
I
said if
thought,
we could use like 8%, that we could be able to actually move objects.
yeah, brain exercises.
You know what kind of is mind-boggling to me is that like seeing stuff about how the brain works and presents images to us. Like we in our eyes, there's like a couple of blind spots where we cannot see things, but we never see the blind spots because the brain is constantly filling in
Right.
those spots. Now, that's kind of mind-boggling in itself, but the question is, what else is it doing in terms of image processing? Is it like selectively presenting things that the eyes are perceiving? In other words, what's out there versus what we actually visualize in our minds might be totally.
Yeah, 'cause
Totally
we
different,
can't
yeah.
trust what we see with our eyes
Yeah.
necessarily. Huh.
And that that's science. It's kind of mind-boggling.
It's all based on perspectives and perception. I thought of an interesting theory. I want to know your thoughts on this. Like, I heard it was from Star Trek, but I never really watched Star Trek, like, ever.
You got a trick, bro?
No, Star Wars, bro.
Wars, huh? Wrong star, man. No.
So, like, I think it was when I was working with the people in the group homes that we always referred to as carbon-based life forms. But what if we were a different element? What if we lived on like a different planet with a different temperature? We were maybe silicon-based life forms,
Yep.
or something else. We would have a different diet. We would have a different whole physiology. But what if the element that you consisted of was not a physical, but instead a gas, like a hydrogen-based life form, or oxygen-based life form? And then I remember a reading where the blue pearl. You heard of the blue pearl?
In
Meditation.
meditation, yeah,
The brain waves,
Yep.
right? It's lightning storms going through your head, but then when they meditate in enlightenment or something like that, it showed to be like a little blue pearl of relaxing. So the consciousness might be those electrical storms that are microscopic because they're in your brain. Would it be possible for these ghosts to simply be, or these other things that we cannot see, to simply be maybe a hydrogen-based life form comprising of different air elements or gaseous elements with that same microscopic thing going around? And so based on our perception, they're not there, right? They're invisible.
Well, if they were based on another element, even of a gas, it would still be physical, so we should still be able to somehow detect it, like from a science perspective. Now, the ghosts that we think we experience are non-physical. They don't exist in the physical world, but gases are still physical.
Well,
I-
I'm thinking of the side effects, like lights
Yeah.
flickering,
Uh-huh.
hot spots, cold spots. That could be affected by elements affecting energy in the way that we affect energy, right? And we can affect things like that as well. Maybe they can do it too on a different level, but they don't have a physical form, so they cannot. You know what I mean?
I, for some reason, what comes to mind is this fluorescent rock, right? How it absorbs the light at a high frequency that we cannot see, and then breaks it down into the physical. So maybe it's a similar type of mechanism
okay.
where the frequency is being changed or modified to a frequency that we can perceive. Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah. Anastasia said theta. That seems relevant.
Theta?
What is
Yeah.
theta?
Theta is a brainwave state, yeah. We're
okay,
in
okay.
normally we're in beta. Alpha is like the light meditative state. Theta is a deeper state, deep meditation, and then delta is sleep.
Okay, okay.
But you
okay.
can they've done this what they call brainwave. They binaural. They introduce
yeah.
different sounds on each ear, and the combination produces a frequency that's too low for us to hear. So they can't put it directly into our ears. So like if one is 100 hertz and the other is 107 hertz, they mix and you get 7 hertz as the frequency.
Oh,
So you can
Oh.
you can't hear 7 hertz, so you can't put it through a earphone, but
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
do
yeah,
100
yeah.
and 107,
Huh.
and the brain mixes it, and then it kind of induces that state.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're recordings, and I've used them,
Okay.
and they do help incredibly a lot. And if you here's a hint: if you use them with psychedelics, they're incredibly effective,
Very effective.
even more so. Yeah.
I have not been brave enough to try psychedelics yet.
No, they're using they've been using like they're doing tests on like mushrooms
Oh yeah.
and using that to like reset the brain or whatnot. I've been hearing a lot about that recently. They're starting to look into that and using psychedelics to like for like mentally ill patients or schizophrenics and whatnot and trying to reset it. I haven't seen anything lately on it, but I know they
Well,
started doing that.
Well, they're doing a lot now with ketamine. I haven't tried ketamine, so I have no idea what it's like. But they say that you know, just a session with ketamine can do a lot of emotional healing. It's because the again the mind, the ego mind gets attenuated, it gets reduced or quieted down, so that the other parts can come up and you can
okay.
work with them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, really powerful stuff. But you have to use that with care because if your intention isn't really clear, then just like this paranormal stuff, you can attract you know, lower vibration spirits.
Yeah.
So that's the issue with you know, drug abuse, is that you're opening yourself up, and if you're doing it for like just to have kicks, these lower vibration entities will, can come in.
It's strange you say that though. So like when I was younger, I still do now, but I always used to get dreams, and my dreams become premonitions.
Uh-huh.
In order to turn that off, I should drink and smoke a lot.
Uh-huh.
So every time I would smoke, I would dream. Because I never like dreamed, that's why that was one of the reasons why I used to burn marijuana, you know,
Yep.
because of that. But then you're saying that it actually opens it up and stuff. And like,
But
so-
well, marijuana I think has an effect on dreams where it kind of attenuates it. But if you're awake, marijuana and you, how do you say this? If your intention is that you want to go and explore your subconscious with marijuana, you know, and you set that up in your intentions, you, I don't know, you maybe burn some incense or you do a nice spiritual setting, it can work. But you have to be careful.
right.
You know, you can't just go and
Yeah, I mean,
pull out a joint and expect to get by. You know.
I mean, it does open a creative side of your mind. You know, I can attest to that.
But if you're paranoid because you're doing these things and you think that you're doing it wrong,
And the paranoid is gonna.
That is-
yeah, the
be
paranoia
expressed.
will.
Yeah, it is what's gonna come
that
out.
also introduces a
Right.
vibration that you're now taking. You're also factoring into the equation.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know,
That makes
your
sense.
mindset, your vibration that you're also now.
Okay.
And the subconscious has an effect too. So
Yeah.
you know, even though you consciously think, "Oh, I'm gonna do this" or whatever.
Cheryl had a good
Yeah.
question. Cheryl asked, "What do you think of all the 5G towers being put up?" I don't know enough about them, but I know they suck because 5G is like it's on my phone that it's like I get 5G. How come I can't even load one website even though I get 5 bars? You know?
Well, I guess they were saying something about the radio waves or something was supposed to be affected towards us. I'm not
that's it.
quite sure too, but yeah, there was a whole big thing that came up on the 5G towers. There was some backlash about it. I'm just not too familiar.
I think I've avoided the whole question because I'm kind of a techie at heart, and part of me doesn't want to think that technology is going to be harmful. But but I'm being honest. I mean, that's like ostrich putting his head in the sand. So I admit I have been not. Yeah, have been mindful enough about 5G and what its effects are. But that's a good question. It is a good question because this electromagnetic radiation does have an effect on a lot of stuff.
She also Cheryl also asked the crystals that you showed tonight. Those are your personal crystals, right? And then are those crystals you carry with you all the time?
Those two, yes.
No.
Those two are my personal ones. I have a number of personal crystals. It depends on what I'm going through at the time, where I'll pick up ones that I think are like would work better with me. I work better with them. But these two I've been carrying around for the past few months.
Is there a reason why you carry those around, or is there a purpose behind that? Those
Yeah.
specific crystals?
Yeah, the amethyst is amethyst again. The purple color tends to be the upper chakra, the crown chakra. It's connection with the higher vibrational energy. So it's a representation of my spiritual intention. So just this belief that this connects me to my spiritual whatever side
I see.
has an effect on that. But I also believe that the amethyst carries a vibration. Citrine, the color yellow, it's a power color. Yeah, it's the solar plexus chakra, and it's also where personal power and wealth comes from. So for me, that's what I'm working on, which is why I like the citrine.
That's why you carry.
The citrine.
Are there crystals that you could use for like protection?
Yeah, the two that come to mind are black tourmaline and black kyanite.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, tourmaline is more the traditional one, but kyanite, which first came out in a blue color, and it's very high vibration. Kyanite works good with selenite. But the black version of kyanite is very protective, I think.
And you gave me some before.
Yeah, and it's good for doing like layouts or grids to protect space.
Yeah. Oh, for gridding and stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
How does that work? So I went into a house in Maine, and there were crystals about that big by the door, and in different areas of the house. They look like they were quartz, but they might have been selenite too. I'm not sure. I've never seen a selenite crystal this big though. There are about 5, 6, or 7 of them. How would that work? The purpose is probably to bring blessings or to protect the house.
A lot of times people bring crystals just because they carry good vibration. Right? It's like
Yeah.
again, it's a spiritual connect with the higher vibration thing. But to set up a grid, basically you got to do it kind of consciously. Like selenite, if you have these the selenite rods, you put them on these. Like if you have a square room, you put it on the sides, the 4 sides of the room, and you consciously have to connect them together to form this. Like in magic, they work with this sacred circle thing, right?
Yeah.
You'll make a circle, and similar sort of deal, except that you're energetically connecting them and forming this space or this protective boundary.
Okay.
Right? So that will work with selenite. The black kyanite, I place them in the corners.
Okay.
The selenite, because it's more of a rod thing, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's just a physical property of that. Yeah.
The kyanite, I place them in the corners, and still, again, I would connect them. And all you have to do is set the intention here. I'm connecting these guys, and you can do a short prayer or invocation or whatever.
Yeah.
Just the intention to connect is enough to create that.
Yeah.
That space.
Interesting. Okay. So it's based. It wouldn't be like it's done for this reason. It's based on whatever the owner
Right.
and
Yeah.
purpose is for.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The intention. Yeah. Crystals are like
And
they're like a computer without a program, and they can be programmed or instructed to do whatever whatever you want with them. Yeah.
the possibilities, bro.
Oh yeah.
How about crystals working in conjunction with other crystals? Like how computers have the different components that work together to do that one thing. Maybe you could have crystals with their intentions. I'm trying to think of what a scenario where you could apply that to.
Well, yeah. So, how do I say this? So I used to make jewelry, and one of the reasons I got into making jewelry was because I used to collect crystals, and I wanted to be able to, wear them. But one of the ideas I had was to take stones that would be like have compatible energies and combine them. Like one example is I mentioned kyanite, the blue kyanite.
Blue kind.
Blue kyanite. Pardon me for a second. Blue kyanite actually works very good with kunzite for healing. Kunzite, which is a pink stone, works really good at the heart for drawing out emotions that have been suppressed and stuck, either the heart or the solar plexus. And the kyanite works to move the energy. So you know, if you use them in combination, it's a good way to pull out the energy and then move it out. And because you can't just let the energy sit, it'll go back in. So yeah, there's combinations of crystals that work very well together. And yeah, you can find the information in books or online.
Okay.
Yeah. But one thing I want to say about crystals is that, you know, I think when I first started working with them, I kind of thought of them as like they would be like magic. You know, like get a crystal and it would solve my problems, which is magical thinking, and not recommended.
So based on the question I asked earlier about the spirit box and the selenite, it would be better to, what I'm seeing in my head now is a room with selenite around it, like you said, but those selenite are purposed to amplify communication. And then you can use a spirit box in the middle, kind of thing.
Yeah, you could do that, but you probably wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't do the grid thing because the grid is basically a barrier. Yeah.
What if you purposed it to be the opposite of a barrier?
That's a good question.
An
I never
amplifier.
thought about that. An amplifier.
Because if you can, if
Well,
you
well,
can
you-
repurpose the
Well,
crystals.
people make like, okay, that's protection grid. I think Lumani mentioned that. That's
Okay, yeah,
what
yeah,
we
yeah,
described. But there are other grids where you can set up like they make like crystal mandalas, which are like
I've
you
heard
know,
of
setups with different stones. Like usually there's a centerpiece and stones that
Yeah.
like energize the center crystal. And you could set up something like that to kind of do an attraction and bring in the energies as opposed to, you know, trying to keep them out. You can make it. Yeah.
White quartz is an amplifier.
All these comments.
Yeah, I saw that
That's
too.
crazy.
I know.
Shit.
I know two people who were meditating with crystals, and they were chatting via computers, and they turned their concentration up, and it blew up both computers.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
I would like to think more specifically, the power supplies in both of the computers went before any of the other components did.
Right.
Yeah, but that's over. It's yeah, but it might have been something else too. I noticed when it comes to energy, usually the power. Yeah, the power is the one that usually works. That usually blows first.
Which is interesting. That the whole thing about like cold spots. You know, when spirits come around, the idea is that they're taking the heat
Yeah.
to manifest stuff. So, you know, they obviously have some, or evident, you know, obviously, but they evidently have some way to take this physical energy and use it for their own stuff. So, yeah, power, batteries drained and stuff. You know, it's
So, crystals. You can purpose crystals. Can you purpose other inanimate objects?
yeah, because everything carries energy, but I think crystals more so because of the crystalline structure. It's
More confusing.
More, it's more of its physical properties.
yeah, because you know a crystal basically it's a lattice structure. Right? The molecules are connected in this very specific way, which is why they're so clear. The real clear crystals are, you know, the structure is perfect, and because of that, apparently they can hold vibrations very well because of this repeating, you know, structure that they have. That's the theory.
So I
Of
work.
course, that could be a whole.
So I work at schools. I go around the schools for my job. If I've come across a haunted classroom, something with really bad energy, bad juju in it, I could put a crystal in there for the purpose of protecting it. So I would purpose a crystal to protect, to keep the negative vibrations out of the classroom, My question would be, would that be indefinite as long as the crystal is there? Or would the crystal lessen and weaken over time? Without a rededication, re-energizing.
Well, I'm trying to like digest what you're saying earlier about putting the crystal in the classroom and protecting it.
So I have a teacher that told me that their classroom was very haunted and there's a very negative entity in that classroom. And it makes people sick, and it made her break her toe, like just not even tripping, just stepping, boom, ankle broke. No, not toe, ankle broke. You know.
So the first thought that comes to mind is kind of like, do you use sage to clear for
Yes.
entity clearing?
Yes.
And you know your answer is no, I wouldn't use sage because you know sage.
She used sage.
Yeah, see, sage is basically used only to clear negative energy.
This
Yeah,
is not
yeah,
in
really
Hawaii.
too.
Yeah,
This is
It's
not in Hawaii though.
Yeah, but it's not really
Yeah.
to clear out spirits. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
how we
yeah.
would use like a blessing or a Hawaiian salt. Sage is what I've known it for. Sage is just to remove negative energy.
Energy, and
It doesn't cleanse the actual room.
and in the same sense, you know, crystals generally will tend to work with at the energetic level. I have not considered using them to like say keep an entity out of the space. I mean, like the grid thing is something different, right? We're creating an energetic like
Not necessarily
circle.
keeping the entity out of it, but
What
if you could
yeah.
shift the vibration into a better, more positive mood, then the entity has nothing to feed and he'll leave of his own accord. You see, so you're just making it uncomfortable for the entity. Maybe you could stick two crystals with two different purposes in there to make it even more comfortable for the entity.
I guess you could, yeah, this case what you're saying is that what you're doing is you're going to program the crystals to just bring in a lot of light, right? Which is the same thing that salt does, by the way, right?
Yeah.
The salt will
Yeah, yeah,
take
yeah.
dark energy and transform it
Yeah.
to light, which is why entities I think are uncomfortable with it because they're based on dark stuff, so they don't like that light.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you would have, but the crystals would fade over time, like the regular
Well,
house
the thing is,
blessing.
you can program it and set a time limit for that do this until this date.
Could I program it to be indefinite?
For some reason, I'm thinking that's probably not a good idea.
Right? But based on what Anastasia is saying,
Yeah,
it eventually it gets weak.
Yeah.
So I would think you'd have
Yeah.
to
I would say,
recharge it or
I would
It's
say
like
repurpose
even
it.
a house blessing would
Well,
be
the
weak.
thing
Right,
is
it
that
gets
the-
weak.
Yeah.
Even like the holy water, yeah.
The crystal will still pick up negative energy, I think. So what you want to do is you want to cleanse the crystal and then reprogram it. Probably if you find that it's not working.
Yeah. But like, if it's a school that I no longer do my job, I'm never going to go back there to cleanse the crystal that I hid on the very top.
Makes sneaky, yeah.
I'm just looking at options. Like sometimes
Right, right.
maybe the teachers
Well, you can
will.
do it.
Right.
You can actually do it remotely.
You can cleanse it remotely.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that's one thing I can mention.
Yeah.
Is that
Thank you, Anastasia.
in pranic healing, we learn to use sprays with alcohol and essential oils as a cleansing thing. So it's kind of like same concept as holy water, because it's also blessed, but it has the energy of the essential oils in it. But you can actually spray crystals with a spray, but you can also do it remotely and say, okay, I'm spraying this crystal up here, and by intention, we'll cleanse a crystal that's
Wow, that's cool.
but that's not pure. And
Okay.
just healing, you do remote healing too. Right?
Yeah.
It's the same sort of deal. It's that the consciousness is what's doing the work. It's not the physical presence.
You know, my friend before, Jamie, she used to clean houses and mop and all that and vacuum. And she would mix like essential oils and stuff for protection into the mop water.
Yeah.
And so that's how she would kind of bless the place that was bad or had that kind of energy and stuff too. I found that fascinating.
Yeah. The chronic healing founder, the master, grand master. He was a chemical engineer by trade, but he developed a spiritual interest. And what he did was he studied a lot of things, and he checked with these clairvoyants who could see energy. He couldn't see energy that clearly, but he actually verified that things would work by asking clairvoyants, what do you see? And he would like do this double blind thing where he'd ask these clairvoyants separately.
Yeah.
But he worked a lot with essential oils, and he found that they're really powerful in terms of the energy they carry. Flowers, he said, are from like the fifth dimension. They're not from the fifth dimension, but they bring in energy from the fifth dimension. They have that connection there.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of so what you said about you purpose of crystals. That kind of opens up endless possibilities on levels and dimensions we haven't really even thought of.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I'm kind of trying to challenge myself to present.
Hey, there's one more thing that I forgot to mention while we're here. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that I have a crystal business, and we're doing a show at the Hyatt this week, next weekend. So a few months ago, I don't know if I spoke with Joe, but my intention. Let me just be clear about this. So my intention is that I want to support Joe and his Patreon and stuff. So I have kind of volunteered to make a donation of a $100 virtual gift certificate for my business for promotion for Joe's Patreon. And the first thing I want to do is ask if there's anybody else who has a small business or does like services like healing or whatever, who would be willing to do a donation of some sort. Please contact me. And we can get together and put together some sort of, sign up for Patreon. And for those of you who sign up, we'll do a drawing and, select, give out these donations as prizes.
Yeah.
So if you have a business and you're willing to donate and support Joe, contact me, and I'll work with Joe, and we'll get something set up to get this done.
Thanks, Keith.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we gotta get Joe to 1,000 subscribers now, guys. Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Still doing this stuff. I don't know how many years we've been doing this stuff already. It's fun to just to do this stuff. But yeah, how can they contact you, Keith?
Shoot me an email, Keith Kikuchi, my first and last name, no punctuation between them, @gmail.com. Again, I'm going to send out a notice about the Gem and Mineral Show on Facebook at least, and I'll put some information in there, and I'll ask Joe to shoot it out on TikTok and wherever else.
Like this.
Yes.
Well, thank you. You guys have any questions for Keith? Wow, we have him on over here. Great subject tonight. Great crowd. Great guests. Does Keith have a website?
I have a website for my crystal business, but it's not really like, oh well. Okay, I have a website. It's called earthgiftsalchemy.com. So that's earth as in earth, gifts, GIF, then alchemy, ALCHEMY.com. It's kind of work in progress. So definitely not complete, but someday I'll get off my butt and do the stuff. I think I'm resistant because I used to work in IT and it seems too much like work.
So you already got one guest coming.
Yeah.
Scott said him and his son are coming.
Oh, cool.
Scott, he said his son loves that stuff.
Oh, the
Gym show.
other thing I forgot to mention is that if you mention Joe or Hawaiian Hauntings at the show, you get a 10% discount.
Hey, all right.
Except on UV lights and fluorescent samplers, because I don't make money off those. So, but for crystals and stuff, yeah, 10% off.
Awesome.
Just mention that. Yeah.
You heard that now, Scott. Don't forget.
Hiccups, how's it? Yeah, cool. So yeah, next weekend. Yeah, you get the post and I'll post it all around, yeah. And yeah, I got a Patreon too. You guys can jump on the Patreon. I make my announcements there. I know my kids are telling me I'm stupid because I leave it on a free tier too. But I'm gonna, when it gets a little bit more traction, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing more things like that on the levels and the. Now that I have time, I gotta get the shirts going, and maybe coffee cups and stuff like that too. That'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, people have been asking.
Yeah.
We gotta get that up and running, Joe.
Phoebe sent me a good website for it, so I'm definitely gonna check that out. Yeah.
Nice,
You
nice.
just send them a picture, and then
they'll design it out nice.
Yeah.
That's it. You should try to see if they fucking can design that one that you took out at Laie with the full moon.
Yeah.
With the Hawaiian haunting spot. That'd be a cherry one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're thinking of signing up for Patreon and stuff, don't wait for the promotion to come up because we can make it retroactive. So if you signed up, then we won't say you got to sign up from a certain date. I think because it's only fair that whenever you sign up, if you sign up, and I'm not sure if we're gonna do it. Maybe have certain prices for free memberships versus those with paid or whatever. I don't know what we'll do that. We'll figure something out.
Right.
I'm trying to include Patreon a lot more. Like I announced the live tonight and the canceling of live last night on Patreon. Cool. I'm trying to use that as a more I mean it's overwhelming to have all these different platforms to communicate on. It's like, oh, you got to post, put them on Instagram, put them on TikTok, put them on YouTube, put them on Facebook.
You gotta make an app for that, huh? Just throw them all in one, huh?
There are
Send
apps.
one message out and it'll
Yeah,
go
there
to
are
all your
apps
links,
for that,
huh?
but
Yeah, there are apps for that.
But
Just
yeah,
kind of like
you gotta learn how to use it.
you still got to click a couple more
Oh
times.
yes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Technology is not my thing.
No, yeah.
Technology.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, it's been over 2 hours tonight. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you very much as well, Keith, for coming here and doing this. This is awesome. Thanks for everything, bro.
Thanks for asking. I love to talk, but I love to talk once I get started.
Yeah. Oh, teeth masks. Yes, Brad. I know you like those. The face mask with the poo. Yeah.
It's done, bro.
Yeah, we never went live last night because I was on a TikTok ban.
We have to wait one more day. One more
I have to wait one more day.
So we can get a TikTok guy.
Do we buy the Gem Show tickets online?
Oh, the Gemso entry fees are free, right? There is I think somebody created an Eventbrite event, but you don't have to sign up. You can just show up for the Gem Show.
Okay. Yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. Turn this around, you guys can see my horrible face again. Now, thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah. Much mahalos to Keith, to Matt, to you guys, everybody over here. Yeah. You guys are all awesome. We'll see you guys again soon. Okay, you guys have a great night. I just keep seeing the lights. I'm not used to this angle. The cars drive down. And what's going on over there? But yeah, you guys have a great night. Take care, you guys. Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha.